Welcome, hello, Yasu, hi, my name is Tai Körner, and today I am not in my studio, but it's not right from the couch. It's my most pleasant reading place and writing place. So, to those who don't know me yet, my name is Tai Körner. I'm an author. This in the background are pictures of my book, which I did paint for my book, and also I'm a magician. So I'm practicing about Clifford, Kabbalah, runes, tarot, and yeah, basically that's it. My starter was I'm an empath. So I grew up with sensing people, swallowing energies without even knowing whom I got into contact with and so on. And this channel is mostly about how I perceive my magical, but also my mundane everyday challenges. So, if you're a practitioner on whatever magic stream, maybe some of my explainings are mirroring into your life, and so you can compare my perceptions with things which are happening to you. So, this is basically why I do this. Today, this is a little backup about my last weeks and years' challenges. Some of you might know I had some troubles with insulin immunity, and I had a pain I was not able to get rid of. And there are some great news. But before I get into this, I will start on what was the problem. One of the points is I had a big pain every month, and no matter if you are interested into medicine or not, I will just name the names so you can check about. But basically, it doesn't matter. It is about the mindset, how you fight whatever sicknesses cross your way. So about 2 years ago in September, I had to face a pain what was unbearable every month. About 10 days per month, I had a heart pain, basically a cyclic pain. So one could say it was connected to the cycle, but 10 days are much too long for a cycle. So I went to my doctor, and she did not find the reason why I was going through this. And she did send me to a hospital to do an MRT. So in other countries, it's MRI, where they scan all your body. And they found myome, it's called. It's basically if you got the womb, there is something growing extra in the muscle rope of this womb. So yeah, but as I know today, this was not the cause of my pain, and so I'm not very confused that she didn't find a way how to extinguish the pain. So now this year, it was in start of December, it became unbearable. And so I did try to get more help of her, and I was near to bother her to find a solution. And now in February, March, I went to my doctor again, and I told to her we have to find a solution because it does not solve by itself. And she said, yeah, but the myome cannot be the cause of your pain, because if I bump against it, you would jump from my chair. And I said, yeah, well, but this is 2 years now going on, and now you're telling me it cannot be that cause. So can you tell me that's not life threatening? Of course, a doctor cannot tell such a thing. So I told to her, so we gotta to find a solution. Because of she was not able to help me, she wanted to look on it again, and she did pike on it, and I said, yeah, you're peeking for the wrong point, because the pain is there, not there. And when she was pointing to, she, oh, what a surprise, found the gathering of cells which were like a knot in my flesh. And I did show her plenty times, but she didn't register. And now she was poking with a finger, say, oh yeah, there's something, but it's not of my topic. And she did send me to the hospital, and the hospital did do an ultrasound onto it, and it was less than 2 minutes when they told me it's endometriosis, caused by a cut I had many years ago. And so, yeah, however, I know the medical reasons why, but she didn't find it. And she was a specialist to know it. It's nothing uncommon. It happens to many women after a surgery like that. However, she didn't get it, and the hospital found it in less than 2 minutes. So they even were able to take a photo and measure it exactly where it was. And in the next week after, I got a surgery. So I was on a checkup on Friday, and on the surgery I was on next Wednesday, pre-speaking, and on Thursday at the surgery. But unfortunately, they couldn't find it again, because it is cyclic. It is growing and it is shrinking again, and growing and shrinking. And when they put their knife on my flesh, it was already on its way shrinking. So they were not able to find the origin cells. Yeah, well, but they were able to exclude everything else what could have caused the pain except this gathering they found. So EA, the endometriosis. Yeah, so I may not do sports for 8 weeks. I hate that. But however, it has to heal. So now I had to face another problem. I didn't want to have that doctor at my side for the next years again, because she did prove to be incompetent already 2 years. And so I wanted to take contact to a specialized hospital, what is right around here. And I called there, and they said, okay, but they need referral from the doctor, so I can check there for a meeting to talk about this health thing and what to do and how to solve it. Um, so I had no other chance than getting me a new doctor, or getting into touch with the boss of this woman, because this woman was working in a practice which is there are two older doctors which got this doctor in addition to their practice. And so I took contact to her boss and said, okay, I don't want her to ever walk with me again. And she did listen to all this and said, okay, but why do you want to go to this hospital? I said, yeah, because I want to get my help now, not in a July or August or whensoever. I need my help now. And she looked at me and I said, okay, but I took already medicine for, normally you take it for pregnancy control because it is hormonal leveling. And she said, hey, that was quite a good idea, but there is a special medicine just for endometriosis. And she wrote me this paper right away, and I went to the pharmacy and I got my medicine, and well, now I'm on a good track. Because if they just have two ways to do so, either cutting out it, but in that case they need to cut it open in the moment when that is the high point, so they know where the area is, where the cells are, because the cells look like every cells. The only difference is they are growing and shrinking, unlike the cells of your skin normally. And the other thing is to put a leveler in your hormone system as long you're in a fruitile state of your female existence. So boys, be happy, feel blessed, you never will get it. However, I now got my medicine and things are rolling. The other thing is about this insulin high. Back then when they were checking for the myome, they found that I got no sugar problem. I'm not diabetic, but usual insulin level is 3.5. and I had a 7.8. So a little more, and my body would have refused producing more insulin to feed my body's request for insulin. The point is, if I eat a snack now, and in I rise all the insulin, so body is pushing up. In 2 hours, I eat a little bite again, and it is pushing up again. So in 2 hours, I eat a little bite again, and it is again pushing up. So it's raising, 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 raising. Normally, your body should use the insulin to produce, to distinguish the sugar or the carbons you're eating. In my case, it is asking for more and more and more insulin to distinguish the food you're eating. So basically, one thing I did change now is I do not eat small bites during the day, but rather massive eating on a certain points of day, and the rest of the day nothing, because the request of insulin is high, but only in that moments when I do eat. So if I don't eat half the day, not even a bite of something, the level is crashing down. So, however, this is a little complicated, and when when they found out that my insulin was near to immunity, this doctor was a specialist for diabetics. Specialists. This specialist told me he has no idea why I got no diabetic problem, but my insulin is that high. And he told me to take metformin. I don't know if you are used to sugar problem, to diabetics problem. You know that metformin is no medical. You just should use like that because it's impacting all your distinguished system. It's impacting all your inner organs. So it's no goodie to play with. It's a radical medical. And they also told me you should buy this and you should eat that pills, but you have to pay it for yourself because it is not paid by a health system because you're not diabetic. I said, okay, it is a medical for diabetics, and I do not get paid it because I am not a diabetic. But I shall eat it despite you don't know why my insulin is crashing up the roof. Interesting. I did really try to for a few weeks until I made a decision. Have a contact to somebody who is living in India, and I told him about that problem, and he does know somebody who is working at a hospital in India, moreover at a Vedic hospital. So I took contact and I made a video chat meeting with this doctor, and it was like checking the fingernails, eyes, how do you stand, describe your health state, etc., etc. So same as if you go to a doctor here. And then he said, okay, this is in your country, it's just a nutrition extras. It is not counted as a medicals, but you take this before eating, this after eating, and this before you go to bed. Okay, so I did order my medicals, as I would name it a medical, because Vedic medicine is older than this one's here, and it is respectless to name it not a medicine, because it is a medicine. However, I'm a big fan of the Vedic medicine since that. I did order my medicals, and it was about 60 bucks, whereas 40 bucks was shipping DHL, and the rest was for 3 months of medicals. I took my medicals, and it was all natural, produced by that hospital, and I took it according his advice. So one before eating, ashwagandha after eating, for example, and the third one before going to bed. And after 3 months, I was at 3.5 again. So, no medicine. Now it has been quite a while, and I did face some lung infection and virus infection and other health issues again. And there is one thing about insulin high, what is very significant, it triggers infections. So if you get any chance for catching an infection and your insulin is extremely high, you're potentially endangered to get that infection. So I was already suspecting that my infection is triggered by an insulin high, and so I took contact to this diabetic doctor again, and I said I need a backup check for my blood if my insulin is rising again. Yeah, so I got there and they did take my blood, and the lady who took my blood and checking it told to me, yeah, your sugar is okay, it's a little bit high in the morning, a little bit, it was a little bit, but nothing serious. And she told me it's all fine. I said it's not the reason why I'm here. What I want to know, what is my insulin state? And now we didn't check that now. I said, yeah, but that's why I'm here. Oh, I cannot tell about, we have to send it for the laboratory and they have to check it, but I cannot decide this. You have to talk to the doctor and she has to say me that I have to send it to the laboral, however, you know what I mean. Yeah, so I went to the doctor's room, and she told me, it's not that we just like that check your blood for insulin. I said, sorry, it is paid by health system every year one time to check my insulin state. So I need only to know my insulin state because I already know I'm not a diabetic. Yeah, no, we don't do like that, but as for today, we do it. Yeah, so in the end, I will call for the health system in the next days and I will ask them how it can be that the doctor is refusing to send in my blood for checking for insulin while they are paying one time per year for this checkup. However, I now got the results from the checkup, and it's a little less than 2 years ago. It's 17.1. 17.1 is not 17.8, but it's at least it is still too high again. So next month I will take contact to my Vedic doctor and I will ask him to check again. I think we can do it the same way as we did before because it really was efficient. Yeah, so back to base, what to do there. At my endometriosis, it's now found out, hallelujah, and this you hear from a draconian working person. It is finally found out what it is. So, as you know what it is, you can work against it. If I wouldn't have found a place who can check up this, I would have done it this way. You know what this is? This is a so-called pain belt. You can put it around something, whatever, a leg, an arm, and this is quite loose. But about 2-3 minutes after you dress it on, it's really getting painful. So this was my draconian way of solution if she would not be able to help me. But now, fingers crossed, it might be solving, and so we find a solution on a medical way. Also, we find a solution on the insulin thing, but not in Germany. Yeah, and I will keep you updated, but as at least, hey, everything is working slowly, slowly, very slowly, but it is working. And so I'm back to track. I'm back to my channel. I'm back to my writings. I'm back to my workings again. And I'm so happy to tell you, you don't get rid of me. So this for today, and yeah, what is the feedback for your lives? What is the feedbacks for your sicknesses? Never give in. If you face a burden, if you face a challenge, face it as an opportunity. Face it as an thinking over of things you're doing. If you got a pain and you cannot solve the pain, find a way how to rebalance, to reconstruct it. If you face a burden, what is in a medical case, and you find no solution, find a way how to get yourself help. If you got a job you're hating, find a solution how to either get fine with or how to dissolve it. And this counts to everything. And I think this is a message I can give to you from my mundane and from my magical work. There is one thing: you should never give up. Because if you give up, you lost from start. So this for my speaking today. I wish you a wonderful one and see you next time.